This is Raven International TV show, and we are excited to have you back once again as we bring to you each and every day 24/7 lifestyle, business, and wealth, as well as interesting interviews that's going to uplift you and get you ready for the day. So we always like to bring on the most interesting people, people, some you've heard about, some you haven't. Today, I decided that I'm going to introduce you to someone that many of you have heard about the business that he created, but maybe you haven't seen the man behind the business. So we're going to introduce you to him today. But first, rewind. Let me tell you, I got an email a few weeks ago when I was in Hawaii that says, in case you haven't heard, you've been nominated for Canoga Park's 2020 Small Business Person of the Year Award. Congratulations. You should be quite proud. And proud I am. That came from Chuck Castro. And of course, the founder of, drum roll, Alignable. I'm so excited. Alignable.com, if you haven't heard, is the largest referral network for small businesses with more than 4.5 million members. In just 2019, the company tracked more than 358 million referrals between members. Is that cool or what? Which was an all-time record, Of course, many of those referrals strengthened relationships across the network and likely resulted in increased revenue for countless Alignable members. Eric Groves, he's the CEO and co-founder of Alignable. He spent several years at Constant Contact. You know that? Yeah, he spent several years there prior to forming Alignable, helping that brand go from a startup to a major company. I'm so excited. Eric, come on down the virtual red carpet.
Hey, Raven, how are you?
I am absolutely jumping up like a little kid. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so wonderful to be here. It's tough to live up to that intro, but looking forward to it.
Oh my goodness. No, you can live up to that. Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to start. First of all, let's talk about some of your background. Constant Contact. Who doesn't know Constant Contact?
I've been working with small businesses for many, many years. Was one of the founding execs at Constant Contact, where we help grow that from, I think there was 10 customers when I got there, to over 500,000, took it public. And it was all about helping small businesses bring their existing customers back. And when I left there, I wasn't done with my urge to help small businesses. And so co-founded Alignable about 7 years ago.
What actually inspired you to do Alignable? Was it working there, or is this something that you have been sitting on for a while?
Well, it was actually the small business owners that we were talking to regularly. They kept saying, Eric, it's really great that you figured out a way to help me bring my customers back, but why can't technology make it easier for me to find new customers? And so when I left Constant Contact, I was thinking about that a lot, and really kind of came down on this notion that 85% of small businesses say word of mouth referrals are their number one source of new customers.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is you can't buy them, right? It's not a form of advertising. It's a type of marketing. And so when you think about it as a type of marketing, you have to figure out, well, how do I influence it if I can't use money to influence it? And the answer was to literally break it down into its two components of words and mouths. And words are the kind things you want people to say about you and your business. And mouths are simply the people that you've built trusted relationships with, who are willing to put their reputation on the line for you and your business. And from that point, it was like, well, what do small business owners do about building a network with other small businesses so that they can drive word of mouth referrals? And there simply wasn't anything online. And that's what got us to create Alignable. And that's what it's become, is a huge referral network for business owners to generate new customers and get answers to the challenges that they face so they can succeed.
Yeah, I love that, because two things here. Referrals are great, but then take it from there to why is it even more important to stay in the loop of things and get out there and connect so that we can continue getting new customers? Because some people think they can rely on referrals all along, and that ain't true.
That's right. And there's so much about just the act of being no longer isolated. that's
Mm-hmm.
really liberating for small business owners. You know, we often, as business owners, think to ourselves, wow, I'm by myself, I'm alone. And every day I'm making a decision that's going to impact my livelihood. Wouldn't it be great if I could just talk to someone else who's already solved that problem or been through this before? And that's the beauty of a platform like ours, where you can literally ask almost any question that's challenging you on any given day. And you can find other people who have already solved that problem or have expertise in that area, and they're more than willing to help you out. And that's really what we love to celebrate, is the strength that comes from these business owners coming together.
Mm, love it. The strength that comes from these business owners. What's the key thing? Coming together. We call it collaboration. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely need that for sure. So, the best way for members to actually get the most out of their alignable account would be what?
So there's really just three steps. The first step is to be present, to create a profile that really tells people what you're all about. And that's sort of your referral card. And don't
Okay.
just get on there and say, I'm a retail business. Tell people why you started the business. Why are you excited about what you do? Because every entrepreneur has a passion, right? You've got an incredible passion and it drives you on a daily basis. Your profile kind of has to bring that to life, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
place that people are going to go and go, wow, Raven, oh my gosh, she's incredible. Look at all that she's about, right? And on there, there's going to be recommendations from your clients or your customers telling others why they love you. And it's going to just get people to really feel like they know you the moment they land on your profile. Then the next piece is to build out your network. We all
Oh,
know
yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of people. The question is, which ones of those are other small business owners? And you never know, right? It could be a parent of one of your kids' friends that's running a business that's right around the corner from you and you never knew. So by building your network and finding all the people on Alignable that you already know, you can bring them into your sphere of influence, your network, and they become a vast resource for you. So now that you have the words about you and the mouths ready to go, the key thing is to stay top of mind. So you got to get in there and you got to share what you're up to. If you're running an event or running a promotion, you post it on there. If you are an accountant that works with restaurants, go on there and answer questions that restaurant owners are asking about accounting, and they're going to see you and your expertise right front and center, and they're going to turn to you when they need advice. You know,
Yeah.
we had an insurance agent out in Topeka, Kansas, and he created this beautiful post where he said, you know, if your employees drive their personal vehicle with your products and services in it to a client, here are two things you need to make sure in your insurance policy. That was it. Didn't try and sell, just tried to teach. And the wonderful thing was everybody who got that looked at it and said, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. What
Mm-hmm.
about this? What about that? And now all of a sudden that person became the go-to resource for insurance questions in the community. And now, you know, getting more business than you can imagine. So you got to put yourself out there and your expertise out there to engage with people, to get them super excited about working with you. And then it just takes off from there. And the other thing that's really cool about your network is you can introduce yourself to people you'd like to meet. And the key thing about doing that is you have to go on there and look at their profile, find out things that about them that you share in common. And don't just send them an email and say, hey, I want to connect with you. Say, hey, Raven, I noticed that we're both into working with this nonprofit that helps kids. You know, I'd love to stop by and meet you and talk to you about it and learn more about your business. Those type of connection requests almost always get accepted.
And what I like about Alignable that's different from, yeah, I think it's pretty different from anything that I've run across before, is you guys actually have templates like that, different templates of what to send. Let me tell you, from someone that, you know, is always by voice and hardly by writing, that helps a lot. What made you come up with that?
Well, you know, it's that deer in the headlights thing when you give
Mm-hmm.
somebody a blank sheet of paper and say, "Hey, write a paper about this," and they're like,
Yeah,
"Where do I start?" But
yeah.
if you simply just tell people, "Hey, why don't you go and ask them if they want to go grab a cup of coffee?" They're like, "Oh, I can do that," and off they go, and the conversation starts, and they go offline, and they build a relationship based on trust offline, and they come back on and they message each other. It's a wonderful thing, and we get to sit in the middle of it all and watch it all happen.
Yeah, and that really does help you in the introduction because if I recall correctly, you guys got several different scenarios. Let's meet and have coffee, da da da, da, and then something else. And so you can really pick and choose which one is right for you and your situation.
Thanks. We call them the icebreakers.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. There you go, for sure. Now, I love this thing top of mind. So let's talk about that because again, kind of the deer in the headlight syndrome. A lot of people like, so what do you mean by that? So let's give them some scenarios. Like, can you do video on your platform?
Not yet, but you can post images and you put links to videos.
You can put links to videos.
The other thing is, it doesn't take an enormous amount of effort to stay top of mind. There are simple things that you can do within your community. You can start a local discussion. If there's an issue that's going on in the community and you want to rally all the business owners around it, like parking on Main Street, you can go in and start a local discussion about that, and everybody can join in, but you're the one that's seen as the one that's really out there starting those discussions. You can go on there and you can recommend a couple businesses that you really love and share why. There's, each profile has recommendations of the businesses that you recommend and that recommend you. And those recommendations flow throughout the community and really help generate awareness for the fact that a business owner that you support is really great and worthwhile to connect with. And it also makes you stand out as someone who supports the community. So you can do that. You can simply go on. If somebody posts an event or a promotion or a piece of content that you like, you can just like it and share it with your network. Say, this is really neat. I thought I'd share it with you, and off it goes. And you can get on there and you can share your expertise. You can answer questions. There's over 1 million different threads of conversations going on with business owners helping each other. And you can jump right into one of those that you have expertise or experience with and share your insights. And the next thing you know, it just blossoms from there because people really appreciate it when people give thoughtful answers.
Absolutely. And like you brought up earlier, whenever you share a tip like that one guy did, you were telling us about, or a strategy, you can get a lot from that. Don't hold back and feel like, oh, I don't want to give it to them because they didn't pay, right, Eric? That's not good. Just give them all you got. Just, just give it to them freely and give it from your heart and without even expecting anything. And you'll be so surprised at what comes back to you, right, Eric?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's that notion of just putting yourself out there and sharing and helping other people. We all appreciate when somebody lends us a hand. That's kind of a nice segue into the award that you're teed up and nominated for. Is the Small Business of the Year award was really one of our ways of recognizing the people within the communities that really do a wonderful job of supporting the other local businesses. And that's what the Small Business of the Year is all about. It's recognition from us and from your peers for just going above and beyond and really helping people succeed. Because, like I said, being alone and isolated as a small business owner is a pretty daunting thing. And the people that help bring people out of their shell and help them find great answers to problems, those are the people we love to kind of, pull the trumpet out and give them a big blast and tell everybody all about them. So I'm really excited for you and the fact that you were nominated because it's clear you do a lot to help small businesses.
Yeah, thank you so much. It feels so good. I'm an award lover, so even though it's not an award yet, it's nominated. That's okay. I'll take that too, And this is what made me want to do the interview because even when I got the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award by Barack Obama, I wanted to interview one of his business ambassadors about why they came up with that award and found out I think one of the Bushes actually started that award years ago, to acknowledge everyday people for their service. So, it's all of us love acknowledgement. So thank you, you and Chuck, in coming up with something like this because that we want to make a difference to the world and we want people to recognize the difference that we're making. So it's a good thing, right? Even if you don't get an award, just the fact that you continue servicing and contributing in the way that feels right to you is a good thing. And that's how our businesses really soar. So Thank you. But for all those that were nominated, go for it. Don't take it lightly. And even though I was in Hawaii, couldn't wait to get back and get in contact with Chuck, because that's I always look for who can I contact about this. And number one, make sure it's real. But I was aware of your company, and also, how can I best take advantage of this nomination and get it out there? And when Chuck and I were talking, I was like, I wonder if he'd be open for an interview. And Chuck said, I'll check and see. So
Always, for you, anytime, anytime. And it's Chuck's brainchild, and he's done a masterful job of building it out. And he's actually working on another one all about wow stories, which are inspirational stories of small business owners in terms of, what was it in their life that caused them to have an aha moment and turn them into an entrepreneur. And
that's
a wonderful series.
Yeah. I love stuff like that for sure. I want to go back to referrals and word of mouth. Let's talk more in depth about what the role of word of mouth marketing plays in your small business that will take you from small, or as they say, from good to great.
There you go. Well, customer referrals is just the tip of the iceberg. Once you have a network of people that trust you and you trust, it really opens up avenues for all kinds of collaboration. If you're connected with all the other business owners in the community, you have a vast resource of the vast network of resources that you can tap into. If you're trying to figure out, we've had retail businesses that have lost their lease and put it out to the community and said, help, I'm in a panic. What do I do? And had business owners say, well, you can just come into our space for now, and we'll help you find a place. Or a real estate agent says, I got a perfect place for you. Or someone who owns a building is like, I can help you out. Business owners they have a special bond that, they understand what it takes to survive and succeed as a business owner. And when someone else needs help that's a business owner, they rally to the cause. There's no such real thing as competition when a business owner's hurting or needs help. They all jump in together. And it's just wonderful to be able to empower that kind of thing. And we see it all the time, whether it's a natural disaster and all the business owners want to help out and help a community heal, or a cupcake store that's trying to figure out what supplier of flour should I use because mine just went away. And other cupcake store owners from across the country jumping in and saying, hey, we can help out. Try this guy. I've got a person that can help you out. And it's that kind of interaction that really just gets you excited. And it's where, those are all different types of referrals. And at the core of every referral is trust. And, if you have a trusted network and you build a trusted network, it's just limitless in terms of what you can do as a small business and becoming that great big business.
Oh, yes. You said something huge. It's about that trust. They really need to elaborate on the trust. So let's talk about that. What are some things we can do to really make people feel comfortable so they will trust us? I mean, one thing that comes to mind for me has always been, coming from my background, is the customer service. Huge. Don't be like the Wizard of Oz, that man behind the curtain that people can't see the authenticity and can't feel. I think nowadays everybody has got into this online stuff. Put in a support ticket, and then when you call somebody on the phone, you got to listen to all that. I'm the type of person, what's helped me in my business with referrals and with sustaining the clients I have, is we actually have a team of people that pick up the phone and say, hey, Raven, just wanted me to give you a call, see how you're doing. Is there anything you need? How's that product you bought a few weeks ago? Do you need to book some time on her calendar? And Eric, they love it. Most people tell me, I bought so many things and nobody's ever called me. And some people never use the product, but once I call them, they start using it, and we retain them as other customers, and they give us referrals. What's your thought on all that?
Well, I totally agree. I mean, trust is something that just doesn't happen overnight, right? It's got to be built, and it's not done by me meeting you and telling you all about me. It's me meeting you and learning about you.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so often we sort of take this approach of, well, I've got to sell my products or services, so I'm going to come in and go, Raven, you need this. And the answer is really in, hey, Raven, tell me a little bit about your business. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about your background. I mean, you've got this incredible background as a, on TV for all those years, and I can learn from you, right? And if I just open myself up a little bit and say, what can I learn from this person? Then we're going to have a really interesting conversation. And then you may pick up something that you learned from me. And it's that act of sharing knowledge that is sort of the foundation of trust, right? Because I got to open myself up a little bit to you, and you've got to do the same for me. And the only way that happens is if we trust each other. And one of the only ways to do that, I think, is like doing what we're doing here, although it's across the country. You got to look somebody in the eyes, right? And be able to say, this is what I'm all about. Do you get it? And tell me a little bit about what you're struggling with. And I get it, because I've been there too. That kind of interaction is really where trust starts to percolate and build. And then it's like, well, hey, Raven, I know a really great person that you should interview, right? So I can help you out. And it's not costing me anything. It's just me transferring a little goodwill in your direction, and that builds on trust. And so it's that process that, we just interact as human beings. And naturally, it's kind of hard in today's environment to sort of watch all that's happening and go, see everybody breaking down trust. But small business owners are like the masters of really being genuine and helping each other. And so in this community, it's one of those things that really just happens naturally when we get together and talk to each other.
Love it. Love it. Wow. Golly, there's so much I want to ask you. Okay. First of all, I want to check in with you. Can you give us 10 more minutes?
For you, you can have an hour.
Oh my God. Don't tell me that. You don't never say that to a talk show. Just saying. But anyway, because I want to take them beyond the on the surface businessman that you are and kind of talk about you. So I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions, and then we'll come back to the business. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's the most proudest thing you've ever done, whether in this business or whatever, that you would like the listeners and the viewers, because this will also be on our TV and podcast, to know?
Well, there's only one answer to that, and that's your children, right? I mean, that's the proudest thing that you could ever do, is have children that are healthy and happy and successful. And, I think that's the proudest thing for my personal career that I would put out there.
What about business? What's the proudest thing in your business? Is it alignable? Don't have to be. It could be something that also. What's your proudest?
My proudest thing is really helping small businesses. And whether I was doing that at Constant Contact or at Alignable or other jobs that I've had in the past, it's really the thrill that you get when a business owner comes back to you and said, wow, that really changed the way I was doing business and helped me succeed. And I love talking to business owners. Just going back and forth with a bunch of them today via email. Every once in a while, Chuck and I will get emails from various members for various reasons. And, I think it's kind of fun to, have the guy who's the co-founder all of a sudden reply to a support ticket. And he's like, where did that come from?
That's nice. Different too. Really different.
Yeah. I mean, it's really helping others. I'm I coached my kids when they were little kids playing soccer, and I love that ability to be able to coach people and help them be successful. And it's worked out pretty well for me in terms of the businesses I've been able to build with the help of a lot of really great people. It's incredible to think that we're helping 4.5 million small businesses find paths to success that they didn't think were possible.
Yeah. Who's been your biggest influencer?
Oh, wow. There's been so many. In my early career, it was my parents, and then I've always had a big passion for entrepreneurs that really break the mold. Whether it's Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Mark Benioff. Who there's certain people out there that play chess while everybody else is playing checkers. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just fun to watch those people. I had the opportunity to meet Mark Benioff many years ago, and it was just such an incredible experience. Such an incredible guy, but more importantly, the way he gives back to the community, it
Mm-hmm.
just, kind of sets the bar for what you're trying to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been involved with a bunch of nonprofits, one here called More Than Words, that
Okay.
works with kids out of foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches them how to run a bookstore, a used bookstore. And it's in many ways their first job out of foster care. And it's just, those type of things are just inspiring to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite book?
Oh boy, my favorite
That's
book.
a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of an odd one.
Uh-huh.
It's nothing that you'd find in the bestsellers right now. It was Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. That was that little engine that kept going and dug himself a hole right in his building
Oh,
a foundation. And next thing he knows, he realizes he's at the bottom of the building, and he's like, "Oh, I
I
guess I'll
think I
have to
can. I
become a
think I
furnace."
can.
And I was like, "Uh-oh, I got to change." I guess that's sort of an entrepreneur's dream, right? I always ask people, say, "I want to be an entrepreneur." I'm like, "Well, did you play Monopoly or Chutes and Ladders?
Oh,
And which one
wow.
did you like better?" It's like, if you like Chutes and Ladders, you'd probably be a good entrepreneur. If you were like more a Monopoly person, maybe not,
Hmm. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Out of all the things you've done, well, let's just talk about Alignable. With
Okay.
Alignable, do you feel like in your journey to success, you took the hard and long road to get to success, or did you have it together and was able to shortcut all that and take the easier path?
Oh, my co-founder, his favorite line is everything takes longer and everything costs more. Or it's everything costs more and everything takes longer, depending on what day it is.
Yeah.
It's a journey. It's an
Mm-hmm.
absolute journey. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're fortunate, you set the guide rails in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Then you kind of have to go back and forth and oscillate until you figure out the right path.
Yeah.
We like to say that when we first started, you could call us almost a dating app for small businesses to meet and find people that they are compatible with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, when we first started, had this notion that if two small business owners in the same community could co-market together, they could do incredible things. And if 5 of them got together, they could literally become a media company that would own that town. And we started there. And then, 6 years later, we realized that was like building a dating app focused on the great grandchildren of that relationship. And they just needed to meet each other and talk to each other. And so ultimately we came back to let's just get them to connect and start talking to each other, and the goodness will happen down the road. So
It all comes back to that getting people together and connecting with each other, doesn't it?
absolutely.
There's
It's a
no way
wonderful thing when
around.
you're not alone.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself, Eric?
5 years from now, I see us as basically the platform that gives small businesses the competitive advantage,
Mm-hmm.
that makes it easier to succeed,
Mm-hmm.
makes it so they can compete with Amazon or whomever else they want to compete with, because they're all on a level playing field. They've got access to all the knowledge that they need to be successful. They've got access to all the tools they need to be successful. And most importantly, they've got access to each other in order to stay successful. And, hopefully we're doing this on a global stage and really changing the world. It's small little aspirations, but, one step at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love this. Eric, we all go through ups and downs, right? We,
Absolutely.
like you said, it's a journey, the good, bad, and ugly. It's all part of our journey. What's been your biggest struggle and challenge in business and being a business owner, and how did you get past it?
Well, I'll go to the how do you get past it part, because I've been very fortunate to have an incredible co-founder, and we've been entrepreneurs, both of us, before. He's done incredible things over the years.
Is that
And
Chuck?
well, he was one of the founders of Invisalign, the braces company.
Oh,
And he has an Academy Award for 3D graphics used in Star Wars. I mean, the guy's crazy smart. But anyway, we often
I see
talk.
another interview coming. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. You should interview him. He's got some great stories to tell. But we we talk about being an entrepreneur as sort of this roller coaster ride, which is why Chutes and Ladders is so important, right?
Yeah.
You get the most highs of highs and the lows of lows. And the key to getting through it all, in many respects, is to have someone else that you're going through it with, whether it's a spouse or, in my case, a co-founder. The funny thing about my co-founder is our spouses are both great friends now because they can commiserate with each other.
Yeah. They go shopping together.
Exactly. Yeah. But having that person to bounce ideas off of is really powerful, and that's hopefully one of the many things that we can bring to a business owner doing it alone, is a whole bunch of people that they can kind of collaborate with. But for me, that's been one of the keys to success. In terms of the biggest challenges along the way, every year brings a new challenge, whether it's getting access to capital, hiring a team. I think, when you're at a time when you're building a business and you're hiring people, you feel a huge obligation to building the business and being successful because their livelihood depends on you. So there's a lot of stress in that, but you kind of get through it by building a great team of people that you can depend on and who depend on you. So I'd say that's sort of the biggest challenge along the way and how we kind of got through it.
If you started again tomorrow, would you do things the same way, or would you change your strategies?
Well, we probably wouldn't have started with great-grandchildren. We may have come back and gotten to the other part, but you only learn that through the process of building, right? And people are like, I don't know what the names of my great-grandchildren are going to be. I just want to meet Sue across the street. So, we ultimately come back. Would I change anything? I don't know. That's a tough question. I love where we are. And I'd hate to risk not ending up where we are today by changing something in the past.
Yeah.
I'm happy where we are today.
Well, that's good enough. That's good enough. We'll take that. And let's close it out by bringing you back to Alignable now, because I just had a thought, and I think there's probably some viewers and listeners thinking the same thing, Eric. And it is this. I have a great local community, but I want to get more business around the world. Is Alignable for me, and is Alignable strictly for the local businesses? Can you talk about that?
Absolutely not, right? I mean, it all starts locally, because small businesses, 80% of a small business's customers typically come from a 5-mile radius, right? But there are businesses all over our platform that have a national presence. The one that comes to mind is Jenny Aguilera down in North Carolina. And Jenny literally came on board. She wrote a whole article about how she did this. It's a wonderful article. And she basically said, all I did was I created my profile. I got a whole bunch of my existing clients to recommend me. And then all I did was I started answering people's questions. And she's a digital marketing expert. So she got on there and she'd search for people talking about Facebook or their website or whatever. And she literally would go on there and she'd write these beautifully thoughtful answers. She'd go look at their website, break it down for them, ask them really great questions. And that content was so great that we just started sharing it nationally across the platform. And then all of a sudden, she's getting clients from all over the US and Canada. And it's all just because she was helping other people out. So while it does start hyper locally, great advice on the platform goes everywhere that we are. So while you can't yet get global, you can get US and Canada down the road in a little bit. We'll tackle other countries, but yes, it starts off locally. Trust is really built face to face, and those recommendations are really the accelerant that helps you grow your business on Alignable. But then advice is great advice anywhere, right? If I'm teaching you how to do Facebook ads as a plumber, it doesn't matter whether you're in Topeka, Miami, Boston, LA, or Walla Walla, Washington. It's still a great answer regardless of where you are.
Yeah, and I just want to also let the viewers and listeners know that you can check out their YouTube channel. And Chuck Castro, wow, he does an amazing job on the interviews. I listened to a few of them yesterday, but one that stood out to me was the one of Ann Smith with the Welcome Wagon. Boy,
Hmm.
that lady was loaded with tips that has helped her really soar in Alignable. So if you guys are not familiar about Alignable, tell them where to go.
You can just go to alignable.com, sign up, join your community, make some friends, and have some fun. You never know what might happen.
Absolutely. And you go to their is Chuck there? Is he
Yeah,
near?
Chuck's
Is he
here.
near?
You want to say hi to
Chuck,
Chuck?
come on
Chuck, come
in,
on
Chuck.
over.
Bring you in for a couple minutes before we close out. You never
Hey,
know what I'm going to do, Chuck. Don't trust.
I
Speaking of
know,
trust,
I
don't trust
love
me
it.
when it comes to being on air. Now I'm going to always make you feel comfortable. But I wanted to bring you in number one again. I move closer to Eric.
Over this
Your
closer
partner.
in. Yeah,
There
go
you,
right in the
there
middle.
you go.
Go into the
Okay.
background.
Okay, yeah, I love your background, by the way, because number one, you're the one that sent me the email, so thank you. I'm blushing.
Right.
And the other thing is, you really did a marvelous job on those interviews. And one of the things, I don't know if you remember the one with Annie, but she was loaded with a lot of tips. Does any couple tips come to mind for you that Eric hasn't shared that will help someone really get going? I'm talking about the new person, the person that's not familiar with doing that. They feel overwhelmed because they got Facebook, LinkedIn, and all that. Can you kind of just give your insight on a new person getting going on this so that they can start doing the right things and leave the wrong things on the side?
Right. Well, really, it's starting with that profile, making sure your profile looks absolutely terrific because that will help you with SEO as well. Put the right keywords in there. That's important. And then with Annie, Annie was so great because she really looked at Alignable as something that was substituting for cold calling. And,
Yes,
a lot of
yes, that's
salespeople,
right.
they don't really want to do cold calls. You can message your people on Alignable. You can email them. You can reach out to them through other social media. You can do a lot there to really start that relationship going and then get together for coffee and introduce yourself. And that's how it works for everybody. Everyone who I've interviewed for Castos Close-Up says the same thing.
What's your YouTube channel? Is it Alignable, or so they can check that out?
It is. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look out for the link in the show notes on the podcast. And you got this WOW contest coming up. Tell us real quickly about that.
That one is so great. We got 1,000 entries from small business people all over Canada, all over the US, and we're about to announce the top 100 people, the state and provincial winners. And there were a few ties. That's why we have 100. And we're about to launch that and then start a huge voting session across both countries to choose the top 10 and then 2 grand prize winners. So
That
it's
is
really a big
awesome,
deal.
awesome. Now,
The
is there still
contest
time
is
for people
great.
that have WOW stories to get them in?
You know what? We passed that time, but we're going to be doing this again soon. So we'll let everyone know phase 2.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys, and follow him. Thank you. And I'll be talking to you, about an interview too. So stay close.
Great.
As we close out, and I always this came from me doing interviews after interviews and then walking away feeling like I want to take my foot and kick myself in the butt because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to mention this. Is there anything that I didn't mention that you feel that you want to share with our listeners or viewers? Even if not, I want you to close us out with whatever you feel from your heart you want to say.
Well, thanks so much, first of all, for having us here today. It's wonderful to spend some time with you. And I think the last thing that I'd love people to know about is the program we're calling Local Leaders, where we're really reaching out to the community to empower people that want to bring together their communities. So if you want to host a meetup, you want to write an educational seminar and teach small business owners a topic that you have an expertise in, come check out Alignable Local Leaders, because it's a place where you can go to get resources. You can get your events featured in local newsletters that we send out, because we want to help you drive an incredible audience to those events. So that would be the thing that I would leave them with. And lastly, I say, Raven, thank you just so much for doing what you do. It's wonderful to spend some time with you, and we look forward to doing it again soon.
All right, everyone, that is a wrap. Thank you, Eric, for being here with us. And also, Chuck, you guys are just amazing as a team. And we love that, you have this awesome service for us, Alignable. So, alignable.com, everyone. I've been speaking with Eric Groves, the CEO and co founder, and Chuck Castro. Is he the No, Chuck Castro position.
He's just in head of all of the content. He's just a force to be reckoned with.
He sure
that'll be his title, force to be
reckoned
with.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And thank you for tuning in, all of you, whether you're listening to our podcast or whether you're watching Raven International TV. Thank you very much. And until next time, hey, make it your intention each and every day to get more life out of living. And hey, more living out of life. Show you right, show you right. I'll see you next time.
If you want to really get great questions answered and learn something new that'll change your life, I totally recommend that you check out this incredible show. Not only does she bring a smile to your face, but brings knowledge to your brain.